Imagine living next to this home in North Spokane, littered with garbage and human waste, a magnet for drugs and violence, and just a block away from an elementary school.
They're like mice, they just multiply, they're everywhere.
Well, neighbors who feared for their own children's safety say they're happy the tenants have finally been evicted. Good evening. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Nadine Woodward. 3 people in that North Spokane home were living with no running water or electricity. They were ordered out by the sheriff's office a week ago, but that mess left behind still remains. KXLY4's Kyle Simchuk working for you. He's live at the home on East Sinto tonight. Kyle, you saw those horrible conditions for yourself.
Nadine, the smell alone is enough to make a person sick. It's really hard to believe there were actually human beings living in that building behind me. The property manager now left to deal with mice, mold, even human waste.
Piles of junk, dirty clothes, and drug needles litter the front lawn of this home on East Sinto. It's less than a block from Stevens Elementary School.
It's dangerous. We can't let our kids play outside.
Candace Chapman lives next door and says the home is a magnet for drugs and violence.
At times we've seen 15 people come out of one unit alone and people fighting. They're like mice. They just multiply. They're everywhere.
Those tenants were evicted last week by the sheriff's office. Property manager Lisa Hager says the former renters turned this place into a drug den.
I found thousands and thousands of needles in there.
Needles and human feces. The home had no electricity or running water, and renters were using a 5-gallon bucket and a bathtub as a toilet. It's hard to imagine how anyone could have lived here in the first place.
I had so much garbage on the floor that I was walking at least 6 inches off the floor. I really feel sorry for the people who had to go anywhere near this unit.
Chapman and her kids are happy these nightmare neighbors have been kicked out for good. But one of their friends is still parked behind the house.
He was given permission to be there by the tenants I just evicted. So now that they're gone, I can get rid of him, but to do that, again, I have to have the sheriff come out.
Hager says she's now focused on cleaning up the property for the rest of the neighborhood, one needle at a time.
And that property manager tells me that there's an estimated at least $15,000 worth of damage inside. She says that the former tenants living there relied on their Social Security checks for income, so she doesn't expect to get a dime from them to pay for the damages. Live in Spokane, Kyle Simchuk, KXLY4 News.
Oh, all right. Thank you, Kyle.